I pretended to be broke and simple when meeting my boyfriend's parents. It turned out that they were planning to rob me after his sister discovered I'm the billionaire heiress she's been stalking online. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching this from? Subscribe, say hi, and be part of our growing family. I stood outside Marvin's childhood home in Detroit, wearing a Target sundress and carrying a $15 bouquet from the gas station. My hands trembled, not from nervousness about meeting his parents, but from the weight of my secret. I'm Naomi Bennett, sole heir to Bennett Industries' $2.3 billion empire. But Marvin didn't know that. Nobody did. You look perfect, Marvin whispered, kissing my forehead. His brown eyes sparkled with pride. Simple. Everything they'll love. I'd met him 6 months ago at a community center where I volunteered, my only escape from the suffocating world of wealth. He was a social worker with calloused hands and a heart that actually cared about people. For the first time in my 26 years, someone loved me for me. Not my last name. Not my trust fund. Me. The front door swung open before we could knock. A woman in designer athleisure, Lululemon, I recognized the stitching, grabbed Marvin into a crushing hug. Baby boy. Finally. Her eyes swept over me like a barcode scanner. And this must be Naomi. Mrs. Crawford, it's wonderful too. Call me Denise. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Behind her, a man with Marvin's jawline extended his hand. Gerald Crawford, I'd later learn, worked middle management at Ford. Comfortable but not wealthy. Then I saw her. Standing in the hallway shadows, phone raised. Marvin's sister, Brittany, was filming me. Our eyes met and something cold slithered down my spine. Welcome to the family, Brittany said, her smile sharp as broken glass. Dinner was awkward. Denise kept asking pointed questions about my little apartment and cute waitressing job, the cover story I'd carefully constructed. I'd learned to play poor convincingly. Thrift store clothes, a modest Honda Civic I kept in storage, even a cramped studio I rented under an alias for occasions like this. So no college? Gerald asked, cutting his pork chop with surgical precision. Community college, I lied smoothly. Couldn't afford to finish. Student loans, you know. Marvin squeezed my hand under the table. He thought he was my prince, rescuing me from poverty. The guilt gnawed at my stomach like acid. Brittany barely touched her food. She kept glancing at her phone, then at me, her expression growing more intense. Her fingers flew across the screen. I recognized that look. I'd seen it in boardrooms when competitors sensed blood in the water. You look so familiar, Brittany said suddenly. Have we met before? I don't think so, I replied, my heart hammering. I have one of those faces. She took a slow sip of wine, her eyes never leaving mine. Maybe I've seen you around. Detroit's not that big. After dinner, I excused myself to the bathroom. As I washed my hands, I heard urgent whispers from the hallway. Brittany's voice cut through. I'm telling you, Mom, something's off about her. Way off. I froze, water running over my numb fingers. Let it go, Britt, Denise replied, but her tone was curious, not dismissive. You don't understand, Brittany hissed. I need 5 minutes on my laptop. 5 minutes and I'll prove it. I pretended to be asleep that night at Marvin's apartment. Through barely closed lids, I watched him smile at me in the darkness. I can't wait for you to really be part of the family, he whispered, brushing hair from my face. My phone buzzed. A text from my assistant, Raphael. Emergency. Your identity may be compromised. Instagram account at Luxury Life Goals has posted photos of you from the Thompson Foundation Gala. 47K likes. Multiple tags. Ice flooded my veins. That gala was 3 months ago, before Marvin. I'd worn a custom Valentino gown, dripping in family diamonds worth more than most houses. The photo showed me laughing with the governor's wife, champagne in hand, every inch the billionaire heiress. I checked the account. At Luxury Life Goals had 180,000 followers and obsessively documented wealthy socialites. Post after post featured me, leaving charity events, shopping on Fifth Avenue, boarding my father's private jet. The captions dissected every detail of my life. Then I saw the account owner's name, Brittany M. Crawford. My blood turned to ice water. I scrolled frantically. She'd been stalking me for over 2 years, long before I met Marvin. Every public appearance, every leaked photo, every rumor about the Bennett fortune. She documented it all like a doctoral thesis. The most recent post from 3 hours ago: mystery dinner guest at the fam's house tonight. Something about her seems so familiar. Investigating. The comments were already speculating. Someone had posted, "Doesn't she look like that Bennett girl?" I was drowning in my own lies. Morning came too fast. Marvin kissed me goodbye, promising to pick me up for brunch with his family. "They loved you," he said. "Mom already texted saying you're perfect for me." The moment he left, I called Raphael. "Pull every photo of me from public access. Now." "Naomi, it's too late. The images are everywhere. Reddit threads, gossip blogs. Someone even created a TikTok conspiracy theory connecting you to Bennett Industries. It has 2 million views." I felt the walls closing in. How bad? There's a thread on r/RBI titled, "Is this girl living a double life?" They've matched your face to 12 different public events. Someone posted a photo of you with the mayor. It's going viral. My hands shook so violently I nearly dropped the phone. 2 years of careful anonymity destroyed because of one social media obsession. A text from Brittany appeared. "We need to talk. Alone. Coffee in an hour? There's a Starbucks on Jefferson. Come alone or I tell Marvin everything." My heart stopped. He knew. The coffee shop smelled like burnt beans and desperation. Brittany sat in the corner, laptop open, smile predatory. "Naomi Bennett," she said as I approached. Or should I say the Naomi Bennett? Net worth, $2.3 billion. Daddy's little princess slumming it with my brother. "What do you want?" My voice came out steadier than I felt. "The question is, what do you want?" She turned the laptop toward me. Screenshots filled the screen. Me at galas, me in Vogue, me signing a $50 million donation check. Does Marvin know his struggling waitress girlfriend is richer than God? Brittany's fingers drummed the table like a countdown timer. "I've been following you for years. You're my favorite subject. The mysterious Bennett heiress who shuns publicity. Ironic, really. You try so hard to hide, but you're everywhere if you know where to look." "You're obsessed," I said flatly. "I prefer dedicated researcher." She leaned back, examining her manicured nails. "I've documented every charity gala, every board meeting, every time you've stepped out in public. My followers eat it up. Rich people are fascinating when they think no one's watching." My stomach churned. "What do you want, Brittany?" Smart girl. Straight to business. She pulled out her phone, scrolling through what looked like a prepared list. "Here's the thing, my family's drowning in debt. Dad's underwater on the mortgage, Mom's credit cards are maxed from keeping up appearances, and I'm buried in student loans from a degree I'll never use. We look comfortable, but we're one emergency away from losing everything. And you think I'm your emergency fund? Think." She laughed, cold and sharp. "Baby girl, I know you are. You're dating my brother, which means you're practically family. And family helps family, right?" The manipulation was textbook. I'd seen it 100 times in business. The setup, the guilt trip, the demand disguised as a request. "How much?" I asked. For starters, 200,000. Small change for you. Life-changing for us. She swiped to a new screen. I've already got the whole thing planned out. You'll wire it to an offshore account I've set up. Untraceable. Clean. And if I refuse? Her smile turned vicious. Then Marvin learns his girlfriend is a lying billionaire who's been playing poverty tourist with his heart. I left that coffee shop feeling like I'd swallowed broken glass. $200,000. Just the beginning. I knew how blackmail worked. Give them an inch, they'd take your whole empire. That evening, Marvin picked me up for family game night. His excitement was painfully genuine. Mom's making her famous lasagna. Dad's been talking about you all day. They really want to get to know you better. The Crawford house felt different now, like walking into a spider's web. Denise greeted me with a hug that lasted 2 seconds too long. Gerald's handshake was firmer than necessary. Brittany lounged on the couch, scrolling her phone, looking like a cat who'd caught a canary. Naomi. Denise ushered me to the dining room. Sit. We want to hear everything about you. Marvin says you're from Cleveland originally. The interrogation had begun. Yes, ma'am. Grew up in the suburbs. Another lie. I'd grown up in a mansion with 12 bedrooms and a staff of 15. And your parents? Gerald asked, setting down his beer. What do? They passed away when I was young. This part was true. Car accident when I was 8. My uncle had raised me and run the company until my 25th birthday. I was raised by relatives. Brittany's eyes gleamed. That must have been so hard. Financially, I mean. Without parents to support you. We managed, I said carefully. I'm sure you did. Her smile was poisonous. Some people are really good at managing. Marvin, oblivious, squeezed my shoulder. Naomi's the strongest person I know. She works 2 jobs, goes to school, and still volunteers every weekend. She's incredible. The praise felt like knives. Denise served lasagna and conversation flowed, carefully choreographed questions designed to trap me. Where did I shop? What did I drive? How much was my rent? Each answer was another brick in the prison they were building. After dinner, Brittany cornered me in the kitchen. You're good, she whispered, loading dishes into the dishwasher. Almost had me convinced you're just some broke girl. But I saw you hesitate when Mom asked about your rent. You don't even know what cheap apartments cost, do you? I know exactly what they cost. Really? As I checked. That address you gave Marvin? It's a real apartment, but it's been empty for 3 months. The landlord confirmed it. She handed me a plate, her smile shark-like. Where do you really live, Naomi? Some penthouse downtown? Your family's estate in Grosse Pointe. My hands went numb. I'd been so careful but not careful enough. Tick-tock, Brittany sang. Clock's running on my patience. You've got until Sunday to transfer that money, or Monday morning. Marvin gets a very detailed PowerPoint presentation about his girlfriend's real life. You'd break your brother's heart. Please. She rolled her eyes. Marvin is a grown man. He'll get over it. Besides, you're the one who lied. I'm just revealing the truth. Can't blame the messenger. In the living room, Marvin played cards with his father, laughing at some inside joke. The warmth between them was everything I'd never had growing up. Real family connection, not the cold dynasty building of the Bennett clan. Denise appeared beside me, drying her hands on a dish towel. You make my son happy, she said softly. I haven't seen him smile like this in years. Guilt hit me like a physical blow. He's special. He is. And he deserves someone honest. Her eyes met mine and I saw the trap snap shut. Someone who's real with him. No secrets. You understand, don't you? He knew. They all knew. Sunday arrived like an execution date. Brittany texted me at dawn. Bayside Bank. Account number attached. 200,000 by 5 p.m. or Marvin gets the truth bomb of his life. Oh, and bring receipts. I want proof of transfer. I sat in my real apartment. A penthouse overlooking the Detroit River with floor-to-ceiling windows and art worth more than the Crawford's house, and stared at my phone. Raphael had prepared the transfer, waiting for my authorization. You could just tell Marvin the truth, he suggested via video call. He loves you. He loves the struggling waitress who needs saving. He doesn't know me. So let him know you. And watch him realize I've been lying for 6 months. Watch him look at me the way everyone else does, seeing dollar signs instead of a person. My voice cracked. Raphael, for the first time in my life, someone loved me for me. Not the money. Just me. Then fight for that. Don't let Brittany take it. But fighting meant exposure. It meant losing Marvin anyway. I met Brittany at a park downtown. She wore designer sunglasses and carried herself like she'd already won. Receipt. I showed her my phone, the pending transfer ready to authorize. Smart girl. He pulled out a contract. Now sign this. A contract. Non-disclosure agreement. You keep funding our lifestyle, we keep your secret. Think of it as family support. 50,000 a month. Indefinitely. The audacity stole my breath. You're insane. I'm practical. You're rich. We need money. Marvin stays happy, you stay anonymous. Everyone wins. He pushed the contract forward. Unless you'd rather explain to my brother why you've been catfishing him for 6 months? My hand trembled as I reached for the pen. Then I stopped. In that moment I saw my future. Years of blackmail, escalating demands, a prison of my own making. The Bennetts didn't build an empire by surrendering to extortion. I stood up. No. Brittany's face contorted with rage. Excuse me. I said no. I'm not signing anything and I'm not transferring money. My voice was steel now, all the corporate training my uncle had drilled into me rising to the surface. You want to tell Marvin? Go ahead. You're bluffing. Try me. I leaned forward. You think you're the first person to try to extort me? I've had business rivals, fake friends, even family members try to blackmail me. Your amateur hour, Brittany. Her hand shot out, grabbing my wrist. You'll regret. Touch me again and I'll have you arrested for assault and extortion. I pulled free, my voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. I've already filed a police report. Every text, every demand, every threat, documented and submitted to the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. Blackmail across state lines is a federal offense. You're looking at 20 years. The color drained from her face. You're lying. I pulled up an email on my phone. My lawyer's firm, time-stamped from that morning. Am I? The FBI takes financial extortion very seriously, especially when it involves amounts over $100,000. Your offshore account? Already frozen and under investigation. Brittany's confidence crumbled. I didn't, it was just what? Just ruining someone's life for money? Just destroying your brother's happiness for a payday? I stood, straightening my cheap Target dress. Armor I no longer needed. You made a mistake, Brittany. You assumed I was weak. That I'd just hand over money to protect a lie. What are you going to do? What I should have done from the start. I turned toward the parking lot. Tell the truth. I drove straight to Marvin's apartment. My hands shook on the steering wheel, but my resolve was granite. He deserved honesty even if it destroyed us. Marvin opened the door in sweatpants and an old Lions jersey, smile fading when he saw my face. Naomi? What's wrong? We need to talk. It's important. He led me inside, concern etched in every line of his face. You're scaring me. What happened? I took a breath that felt like drowning. My name is Naomi Alexandra Bennett. I'm the sole heir to Bennett Industries. My net worth is approximately $2.3 billion. Everything I've told you about being broke and struggling, it was a lie. The silence stretched between us like broken glass. What? His voice was barely a whisper. I'm rich, Marvin. Billionaire rich. The apartment, the waitressing job, community college. All lies. I've been hiding my real life from you. His face went through a dozen emotions. Confusion, disbelief, then slowly, horrifically, understanding. You lied to me? For 6 months. Yes. Why? The word came out broken. Because every person I've ever dated only wanted my money. Every friend, every relationship, poisoned by wealth. Then I met you at that community center and you saw me. Just me. Not the Bennett name, not the fortune. You loved who I was, not what I had. Tears streamed down my face. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix it, but I'm so sorry. Marvin stood, pacing like a caged animal. All those times you couldn't afford things. When I paid for dinners because you were short on cash. When I worried about you working double shifts. His voice rose. You were playing some kind of sick game. It wasn't a game. Then what was it? He spun to face me, eyes blazing. What do you call lying to someone for half a year? What do you call making them fall in love with someone who doesn't exist? I exist. The woman you fell in love with. That's me. The real me without the money corrupting everything. No. His voice went cold. The woman I loved was honest. There's more, I said, my voice steady despite the tears. Your sister knew. She's been stalking me online for 2 years, documenting my every move on her Instagram account. She figured out who I was and tried to blackmail me for $200,000. Marvin froze. What? Brittany runs an account called At Luxury Life Goals. She's obsessed with wealthy people. When I showed up at your house, she recognized me and demanded money to keep quiet. Said it was just the start, she wanted $50,000 a month indefinitely. That's insane. Brittany wouldn't. He stopped, something shifting in his expression. Wait. She's been weird lately. She asked me all these questions about you last week, about where you live, where you work. His phone buzzed. Then again. And again. He looked at the screen, face going pale. It's my mom. She wants the whole family to meet. Tonight. Says it's urgent regarding your situation. My stomach dropped. They all know. How would they? Understanding dawned. Brittany told them. She probably told them I refused to pay. Now they want to try together. I stood, straightening my spine. Marvin, your family is planning to extort me. Your sister researched offshore accounts. This wasn't some impulsive idea. It was premeditated. He sank onto the couch, head in his hands. This can't be happening. I have proof. Text messages, the NDA she tried to make me sign, bank account numbers. Everything. I pulled out my phone. The question is, do you believe me or them? Marvin looked up, eyes searching mine. For a moment I saw the man I'd fallen in love with, kind, principled, real. Then he spoke the words that shattered me. I don't know who to believe anymore. You've been lying this whole time. How do I trust anything you say? Marvin. Just go. Please. I need to think. I left, my heart in pieces on his living room floor. The text from Denise came 2 hours later. We'd like to talk. All of us. 7 p.m. tonight at our house. It would be in your best interest to attend. A threat wrapped in politeness. I showed up with Raphael and my lawyer, Catherine Garcia. A woman who defended Fortune 500 companies from extortion attempts. Stay calm, she advised. Let them make their demands. We're recording everything. The Crawford family sat in their living room like a tribunal. Denise in the center, Gerald to her right, Brittany smirking on the left. Marvin sat apart from them, looking destroyed. "Thank you for coming," Denise began, her voice sickly sweet. "We've recently learned some interesting information about you, Naomi. Or should I say Ms. Bennett?" "You should say whatever makes you feel comfortable," I replied evenly. Gerald leaned forward. "Let's cut the bull. You're rich. We're not. You've been playing games with our son, lying to our entire family. That kind of deception causes emotional damage." "Quantifiable damage," Brittany added, grinning. Catherine stepped forward. "Are you threatening my client?" "Threatening?" Denise laughed. "We're a family discussing how to move forward. Marvin is devastated. We've all been hurt by Ms. Bennett's lies. We think compensation is fair." "How much compensation?" Catherine asked, voice sharp. $500,000, Gerald stated. "Split among the family. For emotional distress." The audacity was breathtaking. They'd rehearsed this. The coordinated attack, the unified front. Marvin said nothing, staring at his hands. "And if we refuse?" I asked. Brittany held up her phone. "Then my 180,000 followers learn all about the billionaire heiress who catfished a social worker. The story goes viral. Your reputation, your privacy destroyed. Plus, we'll sue for fraud and emotional damages." "Fraud requires monetary loss," Catherine countered. "No court would." "We don't need a court," Denise interrupted. "We just need public opinion. Rich people playing with normal folks' hearts? The media will eat it up." I looked at Marvin. "And you? You're just going to let them do this?" He finally met my eyes, and what I saw there broke me. "You lied to me, Naomi. Made me feel sorry for you, took my money." "I never took your money. You took my trust, my love. You made me feel like I was helping you when you were worth more than I'd make in 1,000 lifetimes." His voice cracked. "So yeah, maybe you should pay for what you did." The betrayal cut deeper than any blackmail attempt. I stood, smoothing my dress. Today a custom Armani I'd stopped hiding. "Before we discuss payment, there's something you should know. This conversation is being recorded. Every demand, every threat, every word of this extortion attempt is documented." Denise's face went white. "We're not. You're extorting me. Demanding $500,000 under threat of destroying my reputation. That's textbook blackmail." I nodded to Catherine, who pulled out a folder. "Additionally," Catherine continued, "Ms. Bennett has filed complaints with the FBI regarding Brittany Crawford's initial extortion attempt. The offshore account she created has been frozen. Her social media activity constitutes stalking and harassment. We have evidence of conspiracy to commit fraud involving all adult members of this family." Gerald stood, face red. "You can't prove." "I have text messages from Brittany demanding money. I have the NDA she tried to force me to sign. I have recordings of this conversation." I turned to Marvin. "I loved you, truly. But I won't be anyone's payday." "Wait," Denise's voice lost its confidence. "We can work this out." "No, we can't." I moved toward the door. "You have two choices. Walk away now and I won't press charges. Or continue this extortion and spend the next decade fighting federal prosecutors. Choose carefully." The room erupted. Denise pleading, Gerald threatening, Brittany crying. But Marvin just stared at me, and in his eyes I finally saw it. Not love, but greed. He'd known. Maybe not from the start, but he'd known what his family was planning and said nothing. "For what it's worth," I said to him alone, "the woman you met at that community center was real. Every laugh, every moment, every feeling. That was me. The money didn't change who I am. It just revealed who you are." I walked out of that house and into my real life. Alone but free. Raphael met me at the car. You okay? No. But I will be. I looked back once. Through the window I could see the Crawford family arguing, their perfect plan imploding. 6 months later, I sold Bennett Industries and started a foundation helping people who'd been victimized by financial abuse. The irony wasn't lost on me. Marvin tried to apologize once. A long email claiming he'd been manipulated, that he really loved me. I deleted it without finishing. Some lessons are expensive. Mine cost me $2.3 billion in my faith and love. But it taught me something priceless. Authenticity isn't about hiding your truth. It's about finding people worthy of knowing it. The Crawford family never found anyone else to blackmail. I made sure of that. Me. I'm still looking for someone who'll love Naomi Bennett, money and all. But this time I'm not hiding. This time I'm done pretending to be broke. Because the only thing more expensive than being rich is pretending to be poor for people who'd rob you either way.